everybody, I'm Allison. Happy February. Here's some of our chickens. Hi chickens! They've got a new house over there. And this little lady down here is Sweetie. Let's get into some cross stitch. Hi everyone, welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. I do keep notes in front of me. I've got a lot of stuff today. We're going to jump right in. Again, my name's Allison. This is my channel primarily about cross stitch. There are some other crafts. I've got a whole table and little tables over here with lots of things to show you today. Let's go ahead and jump right in. I do want to let you know that there's going to be an exciting announcement. I have my first sponsored giveaway. I'm going to talk about that near the end of the video, as well as announcing our giveaway winner from our last Flosstube. Let's look at some updates. I have a lot of animal updates. I'm going to keep all those to the end. Anyone who's watched before, I talked about my hair once. I'll give you a quick update. I finally went to the salon and got it professionally fixed. I've been bleaching and coloring it myself since before COVID, I think. And it was fun. I did talk about it before. I won't go into it all again. It took about 4 hours. She did a great job. Before I went in, believe it or not, you can see my hair's pretty long. I cut off almost a foot, and then I let her cut off a few more inches. It was really long, and it was starting to hurt the back of my neck, so I went ahead and just cut it off. It's still kind of long. Feels short to me, but there you go. If anybody is in Arizona where I am, Scottsdale and North, if you need somebody to do your hair, email me. I'll give you her information. She was great. We're going to go with the quilt behind me. This quilt is the Swinging on a Star quilt pattern, and the fabric, which is Stardust, is by McCullough, Riley Blake Designs. This I made in 2021 sew along, and I quilted and bound it in 2022. One of my favorite quilts. I love all of Bev's fabrics, and I actually have some of her fabrics and something very exciting to share with all of you. I've been waiting since Flosstube #1 to share that. Very exciting. Let's look at, oh, I want to show you. I actually have a freebie on my website I'd like to share with you. I have a website and a blog. It's azfamilyzoo.com. I'm going to hold it up on my phone. That's the easiest way for me to do this. Here's the website, azfamilyzoo.com. So you can go to the website, and if you scroll down, right here is where you can sign up and put your email in to get the blog, which I'm changing. It was all animals. Now it's going to be animals and crafts. I manage the website. I take care of everything. Nobody's emails go anywhere. Keep going to the bottom of the page. Under the donation button, under that, there's another button down here that says download. See how it says heart, cross stitch, free chart. I'm reading this backwards. I hope I got that right. Yep, heart cross stitch free chart. This is a very small cross stitch chart. I've seen some really cute finishes on it. I put it on my Instagram and some people have stitched it. You can hit the button download it for free. I came up with something small. I wanted to test the feature and make sure it's working. There are going to be more downloads. I may keep it on the front page. I may move it to another page. If you hit the little, they call it, I believe, a hamburger, to bring up the menu. Sorry for the glare. You can see there's a Mrs. Zoo's corner, which I'm going to expand on, and then there's your blog and shop. I may end up moving it to the Mrs. Zoo's corner. That's my nickname, Mrs. Zoo, AZ Family Zoo, because of all of our animals. But for now, bottom, download, go get your free chart. Probably take you 15 minutes to stitch. It's very small, but it's very cute. I hope you all like that. And stay tuned. I'm going to be using that feature again, and there's going to be new projects and fun stuff there. All right. Sorry, had to click. All right, we did our quilt. I did the website. The people next door, there's a window right over here next to me. They're having their carpets cleaned. It's been a bit loud. I had to wait to film. Hopefully they're done, but I just heard some doors slam. Sorry if you hear any noises. I am going to start with finishes. I have a very exciting finish for me, and if you've been watching since the beginning, I've been working on this one, I think since Flosstube number 1. I started this the end of August 2023. This is called Hold Tight by Twin Peak Primitives, and I finally finished it. I stitched using the called for colors on 14 count gray small cobwebs by Fabric Flare. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that fabric. Isn't that fun? I haven't figured out how to FFO it yet. I would love to hear your ideas. And again, if you're new here, I'm a little silly. I have to be silly, it's just me. There we go. I was really excited to finish this one. It took me a long time because when I started it, I came up with a new chart idea for my Etsy shop. And when I come up with the charts, I create the chart, I get in the program, and I do all the stitching. I don't have a test stitcher or anything. Excuse me. I do all of that myself. So if I am working on something in progress, I have to set it aside to work on something else. Put this down here. There we go. I only have 3 whips, but I've got a lot of stuff. I've got some fun FFOs. Really, really excited about this stuff over there. I'm going to show you. I'm working on the Lizzie Kate Green Flip It series for the Lizzie Kate series Sal. I am doing this Sal. I also have a notepad down here with 2 tall stitchers. So I'm making myself a note to make sure I link them below. Now I can actually link. It's very exciting. I had to wait 3 months for that. So 2 tall stitchers and I are doing this fun Lizzie Kate series Sal. It started, but there's no end date, there's no date dates. If you've got some Lizzie Kate patterns or series, please jump in. This is what the entire series will look like. And I also have a note on here. I need to insert the Be Kind to Animals. This was the first one I finished, and this was our giveaway on an earlier Flosstube. And the person who won the giveaway sent me a picture of her finish. It'll either end up, I'm looking at myself in the little camera, I'll either try to pop it up over my left shoulder, but if I can't figure out how to do that, there'll be a cut in the video and I'll insert it. So I finished that last time, and now I'm working on this one, the Keep Our Air Clean. Look, there's another sticky note. I'm trying to be organized so I don't forget anything. I've got a sticky note on the back of this one that says Insert Mom's Progress. My mom is stitching along. She's retired and she's kicking my butt as far as how fast she's getting these done. So I'll either put it up here or there'll be a cut in the video and I'll insert it. This is the one I'm working on now. I'll just start stacking up my sticky notes. I'm using Weeks Dye Works. I'm pulling colors from my stash. Here's my progress. You can see the Be Kind to Animals is done. And I'm working on the Keep Our Air Clean. These are fun. They come with these little buttons. And you can still get these on 1, 2, 3 stitch. You can get all of Lizzie Kate's things there. I'll show you the fabric I'm using. I'm stitching on, it's called Sandcastle 14 count Witch Schultz premium hand-dyed fabric. So here, that's what I'm stitching on. I'll hold it up again. You can get a good look at the fabric. Sorry, there's something moving out there. It's just a bunny. Kind of a side note, for those of you who've been here before, you know that I'm filming in front of, I've got some windows. Here, I'll show you. A lot of times I see the wildlife going by. And this morning when I was out earlier around lunchtime, I was feeding the tortoises, and I take our dogs out. We have 3 dogs, and I let them walk around with me, and they follow. And I heard a coyote howling. Normally you do not hear those during the day. If you've never heard one, I bet you can Google it and hear it. It's a very high-pitched, loud yip, 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 yip. So I just hurry, get the dogs inside, get the dogs inside. Our yard is fenced, but I always get nervous. We have small dogs. I want to make sure that they're in the house. Just a side note. The coyotes were going this week earlier at, gosh, like 10:30 at night, 11 at night, and 4 in the morning. They were having a party. They're loud when a bunch of them get together. So anyway, there you go. Whip number 1. Ooh, let's go to whip number 2. This one is the first time I've stitched on 28 count. This is Mouse's Laundry Day by Tiny Modernist. I'm using 28 count DMC Monaco T-dyed. Weeks Dye Works from my stash. This was a little bag that I made. I made some for the shop. These are all sold out, but I have some more bags I'll show you later. I try to make as many bags as I can. Usually I can only make 4 to 6 at a time. I do work, and then we have our animal sanctuary, and I also sew and I quilt and I cross stitch. And I try to crochet, but I haven't been keeping up with that. I showed my granny squares last time. I haven't done anything since then. Anyway, Mouse's Laundry Day on 28 count. I believe this is a fat quarter shop needle minder. I was a little worried about this color, and I posted that on Instagram. I'll show you my colors. It's coming out really dark on that, but these are all the colors. These are the colors I'm using. And you can see on the chart, the mouse is pretty big. She's got that bright pink dress. I think once I get her stitched in, I don't think that this will stick out quite as much. I did pause on working on this so I could make some progress on the Lizzie Kate. Once I get that next Lizzie Kate chart done, then I'm going to go back to this. And I also stopped because I am stitching on, I think I have it here somewhere actually. Oh, I do. Good. I brought the book with me this time. Fat Quarter Shop is hosting a cross stitch, stitch along, and a quilt along for the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee. They might even have this book on sale. I'm doing both, and I'll show you my, will I show you? Yes, I will. I'll show you my quilt blocks later. I actually remember to bring in some quilting this time. I'm stitching my cross stitch on 14 count fabric flare pale gray gingham. I'm using the called for Cosmo colors. That's my progress so far. I'm keeping up with the stitch along. This is a great stitch along because it's slow. There's not a lot to do every month. Like February, this was February. I'm able to keep up with this. Normally I don't do stitch alongs because I don't have enough time to keep up, and then you end up feeling pressured or you feel bad or stressed, and that's just no fun. That's another thing. If you're here watching my floss tube, no pressure, no stress here. Stitch, if you stitch slow, you're good. This is their printout. Let me take out the plastic. For they're calling it the Shine Bright Sampler Stitch Along. They recolored it, but I actually had the called for colors. I've had them for a while, so I stitched with those. This is kind of the schedule. You can get a look at it. I think this is on their blog somewhere. If you can't find it, you can email me and I'll see if I can't send it to you as a picture. Maybe I can post it somewhere. Or here, you know what? I'll hold it up and you can take a screenshot. Get my face out of the way for that. Okay. If anybody who's watching, if you ever have any questions about anything I showed, you can always comment below or email me. I don't have a huge amount of views, so no problem keeping up there. Those are my whips. I showed you my finish, whips, FFOs. I have some framed and finished FFOs. I've showed them, 2 of them before. One of them is newer. And then I have some fun FFOs down there. I am filming on Valentine's Day, and I realize by the time this airs, Valentine's Day will be past. I got behind in my filming. We've been really busy. You'll hear about that with the animal updates. This is one of my designs. It's called Love the Stitch. It's in my Etsy shop. It's stitched on a 14 count hazy gray dyed effect by Fabric Flair. You can, of course, change any of these colors, make it fit your craft room, whatever you like. And if you're new, the Etsy shop is linked below. I'll probably put it on the screen too for you. I started the Etsy shop a few years ago, more than a few years ago, to help our animal sanctuary. Sorry, apparently the laundry is done. It's going to do that 2 more times. One more time. Okay, there we go. It's just pajamas, so I don't care if they get wrinkled. This is my newest chart. This is Spring Season Squared. I want to do all 4 seasons this year. That's my goal, is to come out with at least 4 new charts. Because I work and we do that animal sanctuary, I tend to get busy. This was a white frame. I used acrylic paint. I think it's a 7-inch square frame. Got it on Amazon. I painted it. And we're coming up on Easter. I guess it's early this year. I looked it up. I think it's right at the end of March. This is one of my smaller charts. This is Happy Easter Squared. I'm going to show you the chart, and then I'll back up and I'll show you my FFO. This is on a 14 count something by Fabric Flair. I was in the Fabric Flair Fabric of the Month Club for a year with Fat Quarter Shop, so I have a lot of 14 count Fabric Flair. This piece is Easter Craft Wall Decor. I did get it last year, but I'll spin it around, I'll show you. Chances are Hobby Lobby will carry it again. And of course I had a coupon, or it was half off or something, I can't remember. It's unfinished wood. I have acrylic paint. I'm certainly no artist, but I'm able to, you know, paint colors. I painted it, and then I did a clear coat of spray paint over it to protect the paint. And the cross stitches on, there's a piece of sticky board. This is a Stitching with the Housewives check underneath, some Lori Holt vintage trim, sorry, hair, and let me squish this. Yeah, there's a piece of batting underneath that. This is also on sticky board with a piece of batting underneath to help give it a little bit of a pop. You can see how it sort of lifts off. That is Happy Easter Squared. I have a couple fun FFOs that aren't cross-stitched, but I wanted to share them. This first one is from my mom. She made this for me. This is a really long pillow. Oh, isn't that cute? I'll bring it in and I'll run it across the screen like a running dog. How's that? You can see the stitching. It's cross-stitch, I believe, with yarn. This was a kit. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to ask Mom, name of dog pillow kit. If I can find it, I'll link it for you below. Here you go. It probably has dog hair on it because it sits on the dog couch in the hallway. We have 2 Chihuahuas and a Chiweenie. 3 very small dogs. Isn't that cute? She's made me quite a few of these cross-stitch pillows. I've got hedgehog ones. I can't remember if I showed them or not. And if I ever show something twice, sorry. It's going to happen. I'm sure it's going to happen. This one, again, I may have shown this, but I wanted to show it because it's going to sort of go with the exciting announcement we have today. And this is free, and I already made a note. I need to link this below. This is by Bev McCullough. Her website's Flamingo Toes, Riley Blake's Designs. This is Harriet the Hedgie. Isn't it cute? It's a pillow. I've got a bigger pillow form than the pillow, so it puffs it out. Something that's kind of funny about this, here I'll come in and I'll show you first. This is quilting on the Sashiko or Sashiko, if you know the correct pronunciation, tell me. Machine. It emulates hand stitching, and you can see some of that on the heart. This is the mushroom print is Enchanted Meadow by Beverly McCullough, and then a lot of these are bee plaids, Lori Holt. And I'm not sure if this shows on the camera, but when I made this, I used scraps. And I sew in, I've got a room with my sewing machine. My lighting in there is not quite the best. There's two different colors of white. Let's see, I'm going to go in on this one. Yeah, you can see. Yellow and white. I think this is, it's either Kona, well there's one by Kona and one by Bella, and they're called Porcelain and Snow. I think they're the same. They look exactly the same. But those scraps got mixed with white. Some of these are off-white and white. You really can't tell when it's in a room. And it's super cute. It's really funny. In fact, I had the whole pillow complete. I sewed it and I quilted it and I worked on it in my sewing room. And it wasn't until I moved it into another room that I saw the two different color fabrics. Free pattern, Harriet the Hedgie. It's on Flamingo Toe's blog. Here, I'm going to make a note. Harriet the Hedgie. It's going to take me probably 2 days to add all these links and edit it. But that's okay. Free! If you're a beginner sewerist, if you're just learning to sew, you can do this. Squares, half square triangles, rectangles. Nothing complicated. These are the where you flip the corner. I think there's a name for it. Sorry, it's escaping me at the moment. Alright, let's put this one down. Flosstube knows. I'll hide behind my pillow. I thought those were fun to share, especially since it's Valentine's Day today. It's close to Valentine's Day when you watch it. Now I've got static and like, hair going everywhere. I'm debating filming one of these, like with my hair in the bun and no makeup and my grubby sweats, how I normally dress around the animal around the house. So let's look. Oh, exciting. Okay. How do I want to do this? I'm going to flip my order a little bit here. I want to show haul because I actually normally don't have haul. I got some lovely gifts and it's all cross stitch and cross stitch haul. So we're going to go through that. Let me bring everything over. I have a tray table over here. Okay. I really like the Tiny Modernist Mouse series. I have almost all of them. I bought the new one. I don't know when I'm going to stitch it. This is Mouse's Strawberry Jam. I may continue to work on these as I finish the laundry day and keep working on them. There's a bunny outside. Can you see it? I'm not sure. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Whenever there's a little bit of movement, it always catches out of the corner of my eye and I notice it. Okay, anyway. Mouse's Strawberry Jam. And I got these two things from 123 Stitch. This is Autumn Spice Coffee by Madame Chantilly. I've stitched the Winter Hot Cocoa. I'll probably start this in the fall. I don't drink coffee. I'm wondering if I should just change it to Autumn Spice Cocoa or if I should just leave it. If you have an opinion, let me know. Leave me a comment. I went ahead and ordered the DMC to go with it. I didn't want to take a chance that I picked the wrong colors for these animals and they ended up looking weird. I will tell you, when I was stitching her Madame Chantilly's Winter Hot Cocoa, I posted on Instagram and I would tag her. She would like all my posts. If I put it in my stories, she would repost it in her stories. Very responsive if you like stitching Madame Chantilly and you're on Instagram. Post it, tag it, she'll see it. It was very nice. Even left some comments. From Mom. Mom went on a cross-stitch cruise. And I can't remember the name of the cruise and she doesn't take pictures. So I have nothing to share, sorry. She did have a good time though. When she was there, she went to the cross-stitch cupboard in Florida. The lady was really nice to her. She bought some things for herself and then she picked these up for me. Oh good, her sticker's on here. These are Lizzie Kate. I told her to look for something Lizzie Kate since we're doing the Sal. Here's her info really quick, in case you're in Florida. She doesn't really have anything on her website. You have to call. This is Farm Fob. Apologies for the glare. This is a kit. It's got all the finishing stuff and everything in it. Looks like you finished them. Looks like a scissor fob if you can look there. See the scissor and the tie. I don't know if I'll finish it like that. I don't know when I'll get to it, but here it is. And then we have Lizzie Kate Bee Blocks, Bee Jolly, Bee Murray, Ornaments K34. I'm guessing there must be more of these. Sorry about the glare. I'll tilt it. There, that helps. If I tilt it, it helps. These are also, looks like partial kits. The fabric is included. I probably will use that fabric. Does it say what it is? I have no idea what count that is. It's smaller than 14 count. And if I try to look closer, my eyes are, you know, not what they used to be. And it just turns into a blob of color. There's the fabric. There we go, focus. So, thank you, Mom. Then I had a Flosstube viewer and Instagram follower. We're going to call her Anonymous Friend. I checked with her to see if she wanted me to promote her Instagram, but she has a private account and said no. Sent me these two lovely Fat Quarter Shop patterns. This one, I think I might even do a Christmas in July stitch along. These are the cookie cutter ornaments. I have these tart tins and the circles. I bought them figuring at some point I would use them, and then, oh, there goes the bunny again. She sent me these lovely patterns. This is a whole booklet. Let me see if I can take it out without too much crinkly. We've had a lot of rain. There's little bits of grass and weeds, and the bunnies are like little lawnmowers, which is good because we don't own a lawnmower. We don't usually have any greenery around here. That's better. Really nice. It says each design, if stitched on 28 count, finishes at 2 1/4 inch circles. Doesn't have a big color palette either. I'll probably stitch with whatever I have on hand. I may have those colors. If you're new and haven't seen it, I have some shorts on this channel that show my cross-stitch floss organization. Some of the floss that I have, I've had since the 80s. I used to make friendship bracelets, and I don't know if anybody remembers, I used to do this thing when you would take a piece of your hair and you would wrap your hair with the floss. Then of course when you got tired of it you had to cut it off, and you would end up with like this little short tuft of hair because they were too tight to take off. And she also sent me these sweetheart ornaments. I almost started these before Valentine's Day, but I felt like if I had the Lizzie Kate and then Mouse's Laundry Day and my monthly stitching that I would just be overwhelmed. So I've stared at them. I had them sitting out and thought, there's no way I'll finish even one by Valentine's Day. Maybe next year. Ooh, I should start these in December, because then I'd have a chance in heck of finishing them by Valentine's Day next year. Very cute. I can hear my dog snoring in the background. If you hear like a little weird squeaky noise, that's Libby, our tiniest dog. She's our epileptic dog. These are so lovely. Thank you so much for sending me these. I remember when they came out, when both of them came out, and I thought, oh, I really should pick those up. But I tend not to buy a lot because I've spent, I don't know, a couple years kind of building my stash and buying stuff. A lot of times, you know, you see something, oh, it's on sale, I buy it. Now I've got more than I could ever need. So it has to be something pretty special for me to buy, something I really like. Haul and gifts. Let's look at, sorry, I have a little itch. I'm going to show you some quilting I have in progress, and then I'm going to show you a big cross-stitch announcement. The quilting really isn't that much. It won't take that long. I have a room, it used to be the guest bedroom, but we actually were going to have people visit us during, right about before all the lockdown and COVID stuff happened. So then that never happened. Then the room was sitting empty, and that was right about the time I started sewing again. You can guess what happened to that room. It's mine now. In fact, here's something fun. This is one of my pillows. This is not mine. I did not make this. I ordered these. These are outdoor fabric. And I can't remember if I showed these before. If I did, I apologize. This does have to do with what I'm talking about. Fabric and batting scraps. See? Little cutoffs, ends of quilts, things like that. I use these outdoor pillows, and then I put them outside. I have some square ones and larger ones, and the dogs sit on them. And they sit outside until they get all rained on and moldy and gross. And at some point, you have to take the stuff that's in the inside and get rid of it. But it gives them a little bit longer lifespan, which is nice. This is something I made 2022. It goes on the table around Valentine's Day or by the front door. I made this using some Valentine's Day fabric I have. Did I write it down? No, sorry. It's probably a couple years old at this point anyway, you probably can't get it. I used my Aki quilt to cut. And the quilting on this I did on my embroidery machine. That was lots of fun. Just something nice. I've had this, there goes that bunny again. Man, he's having a good time out there. I have this right now by the front door, and it sits on, I don't know what you call it, a console. And on the console I have the, oops, sorry, my monthly markings tin. And I've got my Love to Stitch in Spring on there right now, and I change everything seasonally. Where am I going to put it? How about there? Let me move it out of the way. Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee. I'm working on this. If you're a quilter, I gotta hold my spot here. Let me put a sticky note. Oh, I already have a sticky note there. This, again, this is, they're calling it the Shine Bright Sew Along. It comes from that book. Here's the schedule. You can take a screenshot. This started in, looks like November. So November, December, January, we're up through February. I am working on February. I have those blocks cut and ready to sew. They're not done yet. I'll show you some of the previous blocks. I'm using Bonnie and Camille fabrics that have been in my closet for a while. Again, things that I bought, you know, a year or two ago on sale, and now I have more fabric than I could ever need, so I'm not buying a lot of new fabric. I'll show you some of the blocks. They're really pretty. These florals and the colors are just beautiful. This one is really fun. This is, you like color, this is a colorful block. Love it. Something I've learned as I've been sewing and quilting is the fabrics nowadays are so beautiful that even if you're a precision quilter, which I'm not, and you're worried about points lining up or things lining up, it doesn't matter. By the time you get it in your quilt and you quilt, it really doesn't matter. You'll never see it. The fabrics are so beautiful that any possible boo-boo you might have, you don't see. This is a fun one. This is a big flower. And these, And there's a string. Well, I'm not going to pull it out. They're all folded and sitting on a board right now. Isn't that pretty? Can you hear the dog? She's really snoring. So those are some of the blocks that I have done. And I'm also working on, I showed some of them in previous floss tubes, the Fat Quarter Shop Solid Club. I did that last year. I have the rows together, and I need to make the quilt top. I'm currently working on finishing all of my unfinished quilt tops, and I'm putting them together with backing, batting, and binding, and a label. I'm setting them aside, and then I'm going to have like a marathon of quilting and get them all quilted. I do all my own quilting as well. I have a long arm machine. If you're a quilter and you're looking at long arms, I have a Baby Lock Regalia. I also tried a mid-arm first. I don't use the mid-arm. I don't think I've used it in a while. I tried to sell it on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and all I got were people trying to scam me for money. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But if you're shopping for a long arm, watch for sales. A lot of times quilt shops will do sales with 0% financing for a couple years. Makes it more affordable. Ow. I just got myself with a pin. I'll just show you one of the rows. I won't go through all of these. I got a peek to see what I'm doing. Every month you got a bundle of these solids. This quilt has 4 rows. That's why I said I won't hold them all up. This is primarily cross stitch, and we're going to get to something cross stitch. Good value for the money in that club. I have, again, so much leftover fabric. It's just nuts. What's nice about that though, especially if you're a cross stitcher too, if you go to finish something and you want to do a fabric finish, you know, I'll hold up March because it's in front of me, and you need a scrap of fabric or something, you just look in your scrap pile. Helicopter. The noises today, I'm trying really hard not to pause. My last floss tube had a lot of breaks in it, and I think it was distracting. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to just... So rude. I'm trying to keep on trucking, so to speak. Quilts. Okay, now, big announcement. I'm going to lean out of view for a minute. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And my nose itches, so I'm going to scratch my nose. Okay. This has been, let's see, this started last year. As you can see my lovely quilt, and I said this was by Bev McCullough. Flamingo Toes is her website. Riley Blake Designs. This was a sew-along. She does great sew-alongs, great YouTube videos, great live streams. She is exactly as she appears on her YouTube channel. Extremely nice, extremely friendly, always answers questions, and I started doing pattern testing for her. And we got through the last round of pattern testing. I can't show it yet. And I was looking at some of her stuff on her site, her needle minders and her quilt patterns. And I said, you should really make these in the cross stitch. I sent her an email. And she emailed me back and said, well, funny you should say that. I was thinking of doing that. But she doesn't have a lot of time. So I offered, I said, well, I make cross stitch patterns. So, you know, cross stitch pattern. Sorry, my nose itches again. I know the software program. You know, I'd be willing to help convert the artwork. So I help her convert her artwork, which is fabulous. She does all of her hand drawings in a computer program, and then I take the artwork and I move it into the cross stitch program. Even with today's technology, when you move in a clean graphic, even if you're working with what's called a vector graphic, which has cleaner lines than a pixelated graphic, because cross stitch is a bunch of, you know, it's like graph paper, it's a bunch of little boxes, it does not import clean. And if you want to size something down and you're working with a detailed piece of art, you can imagine as you shrink it and import it into the program, you lose all the details and end up with a big giant blob. So what I do for her is I import her art and I clean it up, and I'm getting faster at it, which is great. it's time consuming, and I will tell you, she does pay me for my time. I do not make money off her patterns, just so you know, but I want her patterns to be successful. I've got the first bunch of patterns here. They are in her shop, fat quarter shop, quilt shops, anywhere that sells needlework. Probably your local needlework shops have them. There were some printing issues, but everything got corrected with the PDFs. And I have a small credit on the back, which is like in tiny print and on the bottom, but I'm very, very excited about. I'm going to share all these with you, and I'm thinking about doing a sew-along for one of them. This first one, now I did get the PDFs from her. I printed them on plain white paper, nothing special. They print phenomenally. These are all tea themed to go with her afternoon tea fabric line. This one is called Spill the Tea. I'll hold that up and bring it in for you. This is a smaller pattern. Let me get closer. And all her details on the cloth she used and everything are on the patterns. This one is, let me flip it over to the back, 59 by 57 stitch count. So if you stitch it on 14 count, it's 4 1/4 by 4 inches. All of that information's on the back. I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to show you my little credit. I'm going to have to start a scrapbook. So exciting. Here's the information. There we go. We're all focused. And everything uses the same color palette. You can do all of these with the same color palette. Here's the information on the bottom, and right there on the bottom, design, I can't read backwards, converted, let me just turn around for a minute. Designs converted to cross stitch with assistance from Allison, and it gives my Instagram, which is Mrs. AZ Family Zoo, and my Etsy shop. There you go. That's very exciting for me because not only was she a pleasure to work with, she didn't have to do that, and that was very nice, and I really appreciate it. I do not have her patterns in my shop. I thought about it, but then I thought it might be confusing. So if you buy these patterns, if you buy them from her online, send her a note, let her know you saw it here. That would be kind of fun just to know if anybody sends her a note. There's 4 more in this set. If you like tea, this is the set for you. This is called Rose's Tea Set. And this one is 123 by 82 stitch count. If you stitch it on 14 count, it comes out at 9 by 6. Oh, it does have on the back. The sample is stitched on Lori Holt, vintage cloth, malted milk. She also did show these on her most recent live stream. There you go. And all the same on the back. My little blurb is down there. Super exciting. Really lots of fun. I really enjoyed working with her. And there will be more coming. And as soon as I can share things, I will, of course, share them with everybody here. I'm even putting them here before I put it on my Instagram. This one is called Teacup Bouquet. Now, I've got to tell you, a lot of her art is round, and taking round and putting on graph paper is very difficult. We learned how to kind of go back and forth with the program because this is her art. None of this is my art. This is all her original art. I just clean it up. And sometimes when I would go in to clean something, I have to make maybe just a blob or a blob with some dots. And I'll tell her, well, this is as clean as I'm going to make it because I don't want to change the shape of her art or anything like that. It's her art. And then she'll go in and she'll fix it. And compared to what I did, there's no comparison. In fact, on this one, let me hold this up. I had a hard time with these. They look beautiful now, but what I did from the cleanup, because when they import it, they just import as a blob, kind of a little bit of a shape. So I sort of clean it up, and I was sitting there trying to get it. You can click to erase squares, and I'm like, I just can't get this right. So I'll get it as good as I can, and then I send it to her, and then she cleans it and looks so much better. This one is 55 by 109. If you stitch on 14 count, 4 by 8. This is really fun. This would make a really cute rectangular pillow. This is also on the 14 count malted milk Lori Holt Vintage Cloth. There's the colors for that one. Oh, there's 2 bunnies out there now. You know what that means if there's 2 bunnies. Pretty soon there's going to be 10 bunnies. We do get a lot of baby bunnies in the spring. I've got 2 more. I'm going to show you the really big one, and then I'm going to show you the one that I'm thinking of doing a stitch along, and I'd love to know if anyone's interested. This one, holy smokes. This one is based on her quilt, and what's fun about this pattern is not only do you get the large pattern, but you get a small with it. Really cute. She's doing a sew along right now for this quilt. This is the Tea Party cross stitch, and the detail in her artwork on this one was incredible. It was very hard to, especially the border, kind of get it to a point where it was in a cross stitch where it looked good. We had quite a bit of back and forth on this one. There's the small. Super cute. These beautiful floral teapots and teacups. And like something like this, I'm going to say you can do the same for either a quilt or a cross stitch. Let's say you just want to do a little stack of cups hanging in your kitchen, or you really like this teapot and you just want to do this teapot, or maybe you want to do the row and you could do a row and leave the scallop border and just have a row. You can pull the elements that you want and make your own finished design out of that. Beautiful. Let me give you the specs on this one. The large project is 145 by 187 stitch count on 14 count, 10.5 by 13.5 inches. The small, 71 by 61, and that finishes at 5 by 4.5 inches. There's the information. Let me see, I'll show you both sides really quick. There's the small. And then here's the large. There's my little blurb on the bottom. These are, again, they're all available PDF and printed versions. I've seen them actually. I think Fat Quarter Shop has their printed ones already. The printed ones don't have the little blurb on all of them. It was a process for her getting these printed. I'm sure if you follow any cross stitch or quilting channels, you've heard about the problems with getting paper and getting things printed in general. Yeah, it's a process. This one is called the Time for Tea typography. All of you who like to stitch letters. And normally I'm not a letter person, but I think I might stitch this one. Now it's charted. Do we chart it both ways, or do we just chart it in color? Well, we just charted it in color. You can easily stitch this all in black and white if you want, or your favorite color, and just use one color for all the stitching. It's got all the different tees on there. And again, if this is something that maybe you just want it to say Time for Tea, it's got that nice antique looking font. You could just stitch that and frame that alone and hang it up. This little pot right here, I think it says chamomile. I'm reading backwards and through the paper. That would make a really cute small. Like each one of these you could kind of isolate and make a small. You could do this little tea bag and you could pick whichever tea is your favorite. This would make a really cute small over here. Just this, it says spiced tea. And then this part that says Earl Grey with the teacups, or you could just stitch the teacups if you want. This one's big, and originally I was going to try to help her with some test stitching, but her timeline was really tight, and this was right around the holidays, and we had some stuff going on, and I was flat out honest with her and said, I do not think I can get this done in time. So I did not stitch this one yet. This one is big. It's 194 by 150 stitch count. If you stitch it on 14 count, it comes out 14 inches by 10 3/4 inches. Here's the information. There's my little blurb, teeny tiny print. I have everything pulled for this one. So again, this is the Time for Tea typography. You can see there's her logo on the bottom there. I'll show you what I've got pulled. And this kind of is going to transition to some of the things that are in the shop. I already have the floss. I made these bags. These are Notion bags. I have one left at the time of filming. I put them in the shop, and I was really surprised at how fast they sold, so I'll need to make more. This is a little Notions bag. This is Bev's Enchanted Meadow fabric. I put little mushrooms and a hedgehog on it. This is a fancy zipper from Missouri Star Quilt Company. I'm just about done using these. I find these a little bit difficult to work with. I don't know if I'll continue using them. This is the back. And the zipper pull has a big lobster clasp on it. You can remove it. I just got these. I also make jewelry, but I bought these for the zipper pull. I really like these. Then you can take it off and use it for whatever you want to use it with. And then I pulled Vintage Cloth Lori Holt Oatmeal, and I've got her new needle minder. So if you like tea, visit her shop. She's got a bunch of tea-themed needle minders. These are all the colors. Let me lay them out and I'll show them to you on the cloth. I think they're going to look really good on this oatmeal. The oatmeal looks tea-dyed to me, and I think it helps these colors really pop. It's a little bit darker. I have all of this pulled, and my intention is to sew this one. Let me know if you're interested in sewing this, or stitching this along with me. I probably wouldn't start it. I maybe thinking about launching it the next Flosstube, maybe announcing it, saying everybody get your supplies, and no end date. No particular hurry and get it done, because my schedule is very difficult to manage with all the nutty things that I do, and there's only one of me. Let me know if you're interested. Drop a comment below. I love reading your comments. Everybody leaves me such just really, really nice comments, and I appreciate them. Even my husband went and he looked at the comments once. He said, wow, these people leave really nice comments. Sorry for the zipper noise. This is a project bag. How many do I have left? I had 6. I have 3 left in the shop. I'm going to hold up this one I'm keeping. This is made with Bev's Afternoon Tea fabric. I think I need to oil my chair. It's squeaking. And I made up there, of course they're all hanging backwards. I'm trying to show it to you and they all hang backwards. Goodness gracious. It's teapots and teacups. Now I have more fabric. I did use all the charms, but I can always order more. At least I think I can. Here's the zipper pull. Teapots and teacups and some beautiful crackled glass beads. And again, that's on with the big lobster clasp so you can remove it. All of my bags are quilted. This is the back. The back is that really fun, it's like the typography. It's got the tea print. So again, this is her Afternoon Tea fabric line. And yeah, I need to oil my chair. These are all regular zippers. I use the By Annie zippers. They're really good quality. This one I have on the inside, the white with the green tea leaves. All of my bags on the inside. This must be why I kept this one. I'll show you on another bag. I caught the tag when I sewed it together. I'll show you a different bag. I serged them on the inside. So no raw seams, no fraying threads. That's funny. I think that's why I picked this one to keep. That's funny, I cracked myself up. Oh, here again. Okay, let me show you what's in the shop. And my phone is going off. Looks like there's a package at the front door. Hopefully nobody will take it. This is the last Notion bag that's in the shop. This is with that Enchanted Meadow fabric. Front, back. And if you ever see anything on my Flosstube and you really like it and it's gone or not in the shop, you can always email me and see if I have time or the fabric to make another one. This is the inside. These fabrics are all by Bev McCullough, Flamingo Toes, Riley Blake. These are all her fabrics. Here's the tag. So there's my tag, AZ Family Zoo. And I loop it. If you've got flush drops or something you want to hook up, you can hook in there. These are also, they've got like a little coating on them, a little vinyl overlay, so they're very strong. When I make my bags, it's quite a process, especially these with the fancy zippers. I piece them on one machine, I quilt them on another machine. The zipper has to go on yet a different machine because it's the easiest machine to put this type of zipper on, and then I use the serger. It's ridiculous. But I'm very picky about how I make things, and I want them to be good quality and I want them to last. Afternoon tea. Here's what I've got left at the time of filming. One with the pink on the top. Teacup and charms. I'm saying pink, it's more kind of a salmon color. This one has a gingham on the inside. Sorry, I hit the table. Wow, I'm looking at the time. I can't believe I'm at almost an hour. Let me move it along here, folks. Another project bag, pink on the top, salmon on the back. These two are relatively the same. This one has a different inside. These are all the afternoon tea fabrics. Well, hopefully I'll keep you entertained. Okay. This one has a boo-boo, and I can't believe I didn't notice it until it was all done. I mean, all done, completely put together, outside doing my photography, and flipped it over to the back and went, oh, really? Seriously? How could I miss that? Anyway, so here's the front. The bonus for this, it's still a great bag. There's nothing wrong with it. I took $1 off in the shop. You'll see what happened. Here's the back. When I come in, my quilting is all evenly spaced. Somehow I missed a row. I have no idea how I did that and how I didn't catch it. I stare at these things before I sew them all together, and I double check everything, and somehow I missed that. So you get $1 off if you buy the one that's in the shop with the blue across the top. The inside is gingham. Yeah, stuff happens. Okay. Was there anything else? Oh, there's a couple more things I'll show you from the shop, and then we're going to get to the giveaway, animal stuff, and a couple fun things. Hopefully you're still watching. I never know. In the shop, on the stitchy side, besides the project bags, I've got a couple of these left. These are floss drops. It's got the Love to Stitch cabochon on it, some crystals, a heart charm, and again, I make all of this. I took the picture, I made the cabochon. I didn't make the cabochon, I had to put it together. I make the floss drops. These are triple layer. They're a heavy cardstock and decorative paper, and the ring. So there's 2 left of these. And I'd like to make some more. They're a little bit time consuming to make. I'm waiting until I sell out. I have to lean, guys. Oh, and I have fun stuff from my mom. Let me show you fun stuff from my mom really quick. I forgot because they're on hangers. On her, and I'm sorry my chair's squeaking, on her cruise, she brought back some shirts for me. They're huge. They're really big. Today I choose stitching. And actually, I was going to wear one of these, but they kind of, I thought they were distracting. I try not to wear distracting clothes, yet my chair is awfully distracting. I'm going to have to fix that. This one says, so much floss, so little time. Oh. That's really weird. I gotta fix that. And let me move these. Give me just a second. Here we go. And the last one, with enough fabric, I could rule the world. I'm probably pretty close to that. I really do have enough fabric. I've thought about maybe selling some things or maybe making some project kits for my Etsy shop. Oh gosh, I need to fix that. Holy smokes. I'm gonna try not to bend it. Okay. In the shop, I have some new Frosty Paws bracelet gift sets. And again, the shop helps raise money for our Forever Home Animal Sanctuary. And they come in the box. There's a couple different color lines, and there are 2 bracelets per set. I'll just open the pink one really quick. These are frosted glass, hence the name Frosty Paws, and they have a paw. Focus. It doesn't want to focus. Okay, we all know about this, don't we? There you go. So like this one is hot pink and soft pink. All the measurements for the sizing are on the Etsy shop, on the listings. If you have a larger or smaller wrist, normally I can accommodate, and I essentially take it apart and remake it. You just have to email me and let me know. If for any reason I'm out of a bead, I won't be able to make it larger, but usually I have some. I think I have all of those. So if you need a gift, I realize Valentine's Day is past by the time this airs, but Mother's Day is coming, Easter's coming. Great, really fun, bright, colorful. If you like jewelry but nothing fancy, those are perfect. I've got other jewelry things in the shop. Giveaway winner. Oh, yes. All right. The giveaway from last time. Last time I had you leave a comment with the word spring, and I'm giving away one of these. Wow, I'm over an hour. I'll try to cut some things in editing. The winner for this, and I'll put it on the screen as well. Make sure you email me at azfamilyzoo@gmail.com. The winner is Cindy Lou Loves to Stitch. There's a bunch of underscores in there. Congratulations. I use a random number picker. You had a really good chance of winning this, guys. When I do a giveaway, there's not a lot of comments. There's a lot of floss tubes out there, and I do appreciate everybody who watches this, especially if you're watching to the end. If you like giveaways, of course, don't say giveaway, don't say free, don't say any of those words. This week's giveaway, this month, is actually sponsored by Bev, so big, huge thank you to Bev. She's going to offer up a chart of your choice. All of these wonderful T-charts that I showed, and there's 5 in total. You're going to get to pick which chart you would like. And here's the big one that I'm going to stitch. If you want to win one of Bev's T-charts, again, thank you, Bev, for sponsoring this giveaway. Comment the word T in the comments. Okay? T-E-A. T. And she does offer PDFs, so this can be open to everybody, even international. There's no shipping with the PDF. Comment T, and another big thank you so much. It was so fun working with Bev on these. We're working on some other things. I can't talk about them, but there's going to be more coming out. Let me look at my notes here. I left myself a note to make sure I say thank you. Thank you for watching. All my contact info, my website, my shop, my Instagrams are all in. If they're not in the description box, they're in. There's a YouTube description of the channel. They're already there. There's going to be some, oh yeah, I'm trying to find the time to make some really fun videos for this channel. I actually put in for a few vacation days, so I would have time to do that. And I'd also would like to know, before I get to the animal update, if anyone's interested in a sewing and quilting channel, let me know, comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. We're going to do an animal update. And again, with these animals, as I talk about them, if I can pop it up here, I'll pop it up. If not, there'll be a break and I'll explain. Or I can hold up pictures. Let me see. It might be easier just to hold up pictures because I did post all these on my Instagram. We'll talk about Muffin. Let's see. Muffin's our guinea pig. Let me see if this works. Yeah, that works. You can see she has a little bandage on her foot. Muffin's a little older, and she's a little more sedentary, so she was kind of, you know, doing her business and sitting on it, and her feet were getting wet, and she ended up getting a little infection. She had to go to the vet. Look at her little bandage on her foot. Oh my goodness. She's such a good guinea pig. We just had her 2-week checkup. She's still taking her medication. Her bandage did come off, but here's a picture of her taking her medication. She has to be on her medication for a few more weeks. Let me tilt it. There we go. We had her to the vet. Yeah, this is much easier. We had our pig Bella. Bella. We have mobile vets come out for the pigs. They're too big. And I just posted Bella today on my animal Instagram. Here's a picture of her sticking her head out of the house. Bella was diagnosed a few years ago with ulcers or colitis. Really not sure. It's very hard to tell. All her blood work came back normal at the time. They do fecal tests. It was all normal. They did some imaging. It was all normal. We've had her on omeprazole, which is Prilosec, and that seemed to help for a while. Wasn't helping anymore. She had really bad diarrhea, so we called out some mobile vets, and I'm not going to give the name of any of these vets because I truly believe that they really do try to do their best. Part of working with farm animals when the vets come out is they normally have to be sedated, chased down, corralled, captured, and something happened. They either pulled something or caused her to have a pinched nerve. She's been on pain meds for the past about 2 weeks. We were really worried. She wasn't standing. She couldn't stand. We would have to kind of coax her to come out of the house, and she would immediately go to the bathroom. We had to throw out a whole bunch of our pig towels because it was just really ugly. But on the plus side, we called another vet. We called a vet who works with someone we know who works with pigs, and that vet came out, approached it a little differently. We got the pain meds on board, and it's been about 2 weeks. She's doing so much better. She's almost back to normal. Unfortunately, the one thing we're trying differently for the diarrhea, still not working. But our thoughts now at this point are, if she's generally happy, healthy, blood work showing good, all the screening showing good, the only thing they can do at this point would be to do endoscopy, which is to go with a camera, which means sedation, and at this point we do not want to sedate her again, and we would also have to corral her, put her in a crate, and bring her somewhere. She's happy, she's up, she's moving, she's a little gimpy, but she's doing so much better. We're going to leave her be, keep an eye on her, and follow up with the second vet that we called, and keep an eye on, like I said, keep an eye on her and make sure she's doing well. So we're so happy she's doing much better. All of this I'm talking to you about happened within the past 2 or 3 weeks. Niles and Hugs, our hedgehogs, went to the vet. Let me bring up a picture of Niles for you. I noticed Niles, actually, I took a little video of him eating, and this is where I pulled this picture. Sorry about the glare. There you go. Niles was having trouble chewing his hedgie chow. He wasn't chewing anything. He was sort of rolling it around in his mouth and spitting it out. And if you have ever had a hedgehog or know anything about even like hamsters and gerbils and what they call pocket pets, they're notorious for having teeth problems, mouth problems, tumors, ulcers. So took him to the vet, and also brought Hugs, which is another one of our hedgehogs, brought him along just to get him checked. Let's see, that's when Niles, I'm trying to see if I've got a picture of Hugs to show you really quick. I don't think so. Sometimes it's hard for me to find them on my Instagram. I apologize. Anyway, we've got 2. We've got Hugs and Niles. And brought them both. They needed a nail trim anyway. So they have to be sedated for their nail trim. We had Niles checked out, Hugs checked out. Both of them had clean mouths, as good dental as they can have. No masses, no ulcers, no anything. And the vet said, as far as, I'm sorry, it's kind of funny, as far as Niles is concerned, that he might have TMJ. So sore jaw and hedgehog. What we did for Niles is I have a mortar and a pestle, if you know what that is. You grind stuff up, so I grind his hedgie